O herbs, let the tiller harm you not, and I wish prosperity and good health not only to the patient for whom I am collecting these herbs, but also to his relatives and livestock. The culture of Aranyani flushed and flourished in the wilderness, cladded with herbs and trees. Thus, in the midst of the Orient, plants like Tulasi, Ketaki and Rudraksha attained divinity and immortality. This ancient wisdom, kindled by nature, weighs a tree equivalent to 10 virtuous suns. Golden blossoms of Karnikara, flame flower, the glory lily, bloomed in the wake of a thunderstorm, coroneted by wings of fire. Ashoka, festooned with copious silky new flush, tenderly wipe off all the sorrows from the thoughts of maidens. Poetic imaginations so sketched intimate portraits of trees and herbs, suffused in them humanely sense and feelings. Dashapushpam, the bunch of 10 flowers, Karuga, Kayoni, Tirudali, Mukkuti, Vishnu Kranti, Puvangurundal, Muyalchevi, Cherula, Ulinya and Nilappana are worn on Tiruvadira night as a sign of prosperity. These flowers are believed to be the abodes of 10 different goddesses. From the cradle to the grave, the umbilical connection of humans with Mother Nature is sustained by herbs. It is nothing but this tradition of keeping the nature at heart that kindled the Indian healthcare tradition to unparalleled heights in the celebration of life. One of the most important texts of Ayurveda, the Ashtanga Hridayam, avows that no material in this universe is a non-medicine, as one way or the other, all substances can be used as medicament. Sasijam, Jandavam and Parthivam, drugs of plant, animal and mineral origin. Ayurveda classify all medicines under these three categories. However, the backbone of Ayurveda is drugs of plant origin. Nearly 7,000 plants are used in the Indian systems of medicine, and the Ayurvedic system of healthcare uses nearly 700 materials of plant origin. Apart from the locally collected drugs, our materia medica is enriched with dried raw drugs imported from elsewhere. For instance, look at this double coconut, Lodacia maldivica. This is from the Seychelles Islands and is perhaps the most expensive raw drug used in Ayurveda today, and 1 kilogram costs around 30,000 rupees. Amazing curative abilities of the Indian herbal preparations were known many centuries back even to Westerners. Most of the medicines imported at that time from Europe for treating the common ailments of Dutch soldiers were actually locally available. It was this realization that inspired the Dutch governor Van Reed to publish the legendary book Hortus Malabaricus, a multi-volume compilation on the medicinal plants of the Malabar coast. This invaluable source of information was compiled under the supervision of Itti Achudan, a local Ayurvedic practitioner. These volumes formed a major reference to Carl Linnaeus in his landmark work on plant systematics. This illustrated volume, with description and details of medicinal properties of more than 750 plants, provides information on most of the medicinal herbs in Kerala. Some plants such as eucalyptus, guava and cashew, which were originally brought to India only a few centuries back by the Western merchants, have already found their way to the Indian materia medica. More surprisingly, the lantana and the eupatorium, introduced here only a few decades back, are attested drug sources in folk healing systems. Western Ghats to Himalayas and China and the West Asia, herbal drugs reach Kerala market from far and wide. Owing to the biological richness, the Western Ghats and Himalayas are already acknowledged as World Heritage Centers. The microhabitats here are the womb of medicinal plant diversity. Some of the most curious and diverse plant wealth belongs to the tropical rainforests. Cyathea. These are giant tree ferns found growing only in the high-altitude Shola forests, a surviving legacy of late Carboniferous period. These are also being used as a source of drug in ethnic medicine. Balanophora or Gajapipali, a native of wet tropical forests, is another important drug source in folk medicine. Devil's Pot, a stinging nettle, is used by the tribes as medicine. Nagakesara is the trade name of the flowers of this evergreen Mesua tree, one of the 4 spices known as Chaturjada Ganam. Today, this tree bark is sold in the market in the place of Ashoka bark. Most of all the spices that flavor our everyday diet are derived from the wild varieties of tropical forests. However, varieties of some of these spices and drugs have already vanished from the wild. 2 Ayurvedic drugs, Campharia galanga and Campharia rotunda, are completely extinct in the wild. Now they are made available solely from their cultivars grown in home gardens. High-altitude grasslands and Shola forests, the land of the blue strobilanth or Neelakurinji. Neelakurinji bursts into blossoms only once in the duodecade by painting entire mist-laden landscape into blue. Nearly 20 wild varieties of the strobilanth are used as drug source by the healers of Kerala. Berberis aristata is an important drug source grown in North India. A close relative of this, the bushy mahonia, a typical shola forest species, is yet to be investigated for its medicinal properties. Mahonia is just one among the thousands of herbs with potential medicinal properties that are yet to be known to the world. Safely clenched onto the rocky substratum of the wet grasslands, these Drosera plants are curiosity to plant enthusiasts because these plants are voracious predators on insects. For practitioners of Siddha medicine, Drosera is known as Arikarni, an important source of medicine. Out of the innumerable plant varieties found in the evergreen forests, we know about the medicinal properties of only a small minority. Majority of the known medicinal plants are from the deciduous forests. Nearly 60% of the medicinal plants we currently use are collected from the deciduous forests. There are a number of plant species such as Strychnos potatorum and Alstonia venenata that grow only in the moist deciduous forests. It is in the dry forests of Marayur that natural sandal grows most abundantly in Kerala. When compared to the floristic diversity of evergreen forests, dry deciduous forests are less diverse, but dry forests are astoundingly rich in terms of medicinal plant diversity. In these dry forests of Chinar grow various medicinal cacti, wild lemons, apical somalada, Drycostachys cinerea, and orthopedically important Vitis quadrangularis. The southern tip of the Western Ghats mountain chain, the Agastya Malai and the Maruttwa Malai, are blessed with abundance of magical curative herbs. Alila Kallurvanji, Decalipsis arealpatra, growing among the thick of the rocks, Trichopus, the drug of eternal youthfulness, and many more such medicinal plants of endemic distribution occur here. Conservation of the agrobiodiversity is not restricted to food security alone. Most of the food crops that we cultivate today are completely extinct in the wild. Among the myriad of drugs used in Ayurveda are the vegetables such as ash gourd and snake gourd, fruits such as grape, pulses such as pigeon pea, oil seeds such as mustard and sesame, grains such as paddy, sorghum, barley. The list is long. Depending on the place, time and the season, paddy fields get perpetually modified. The mood of paddy land, suffused with the aroma of slush and grain, changes as one season gives way to another. Ploughed and sown field in monsoon and the harvest time in autumn and spring are worlds apart. Though the Eclipta, Monocoria and Cypress are weed heads for farmers, they are magical revivers in the eyes of a healer. The rice varieties such as Varinelle, Navara and Chennelle are also time-tested remedies in Ayurvedic system of medicine. Though most of the midland is cultivated, some of the uncultivated grasslands on the slopes and the laterite plateaus here still harbour a number of medicinal herbs. The Erimala is such a midland hillock harbouring many valuable magical herbal revivers. Such midland hillocks are the abode of many threatened species of herbs such as Jivanti, Holostema adacodian, considered best among the leafy vegetables, and Chembaravallikiranga, Ampellosis arnotiana, remarkable herbal remedy for peptic ulcer. Some of the herbs considered as archetypal species of midland flora, such as Sarsaparilla, wild horse gram, and Ixora, are fast disappearing today due to their habitat destruction. Nearly 75% of the raw drugs are collected from the forests. A large number of tribal groups depend on the collection of forest's produce, mostly raw drugs, for their subsistence. Reckless collection of drug threatens the very survival of certain plant species. Need of a sustainable harvest culture is imperative here. Partial removal of the bark in place of complete removal and replanting of shoots after the collection of tubers are to be encouraged and popularized. Medicinal plant collectors need to be trained in scientific methods of collection, post-harvest processing, and value addition. In case of the plant species in which roots are collected, regeneration can be effected only if they are collected after seeding. Participatory Forest Management Program of the Forest Department encourages activities which ensure sustainable availability of forest products. For this, forest protection committees are formed in collaboration with tribal communities. The Forest Protection Committee of Varachal has devised practical techniques for effecting sustainable harvesting of the medicinal plants such as Kallurvanji, Rotua aquatica. Manilal, convener of the committee, says Kallurvanji is an exceptional and rare medicinal plant in the Chalakudi River. This is used as an effective remedy in the treating of kidney stone by local people for a very long time. When we realized that this plant is collected in large quantities from the river, our Forest Protection Committee took initiatives to develop awareness among the members. The committee also succeeded in limiting the right of collection to tribals alone. Since the roots are not required for medicine, now collection is effected by cutting the plants instead of uprooting the plant. There are nearly 13,000 registered Ayurvedic practitioners and approximately 5,000 unregistered traditional healthcare practitioners in Kerala. There are 750 registered Ayurvedic drug manufacturing units and nearly 3,000 unregistered units in the state. 200 crore rupees worth of medicines is sold in Kerala alone. Nearly 75% of the raw drugs are collected from the wild. Many a wild plant species are in the shadow of extinction due to over-collection for industrial purpose. Cultivation is the only way to extricate them from this extinction vortex. The fact that some of the drug manufacturers have already taken initiative to cultivate medicinal plants provides a silver lining in the otherwise gloomy scenario. Kerala Agricultural University plays an active role in providing timely technical advice to these institutions and individuals in cultivation of the medicinal plants. More than 500 medicinal plants are protected in the Model Medicinal Herb Garden established at Vellanikara as part of the All India Coordinated Research Project. This also functions in various capacities as reference center, research facility, and extension center. Different varieties of Thipali, Piper longum, a valuable medicinal plant, is also collected and grown here. A new variety of Thipali, developed here by genetic manipulation, is named Vishwam in fond memory of T.V. Vishwanathan, the former director of the project. The Aromatic and Medicinal Plant Research Station of the Kerala Agricultural University near Odakali has a well laid out medicinal plant garden which can claim 5 decades long legacy. The station's lemongrass germplasm collection with 450 varieties is the largest such collection lemongrasses in the world. Its well-equipped quality control laboratory also has facility for distilling industrially important, valuable volatile essential oils. Micro-propagation techniques such as tissue culture are extremely effective in facilitating germplasm conservation. Tissue culture techniques for the vegetative mass propagation have already successfully tried out in the case of medicinal herbs such as Dicalypsis arealpatra, Nervalia, Hemidesmus and Plumbago. In cryobank, seeds are preserved under extremely low temperatures so as to maintain their viability for longer periods. This is another technique available for germplasm preservation. Conservation in the natural habitat is the most effective strategy to help medicinal plants survive. By conserving wild animals in sanctuaries and national parks, many rare and endangered species of plants also avail the benefit of protection. Ex situ conservation is equally important as the in situ conservation. Botanical gardens play important roles in conservation and awareness generation. Establishment of botanical gardens worldwide was an offshoot of the emergence of botany as a strategically important branch of science towards the end of the 17th century. Some of the first botanical gardens in Europe were established as part of medical education. But the botanical gardens in India and other colonies focused on propagation of commercially important species of plants. It was through the National Botanical Garden in Kolkata that tea and mahogany found their way to India. Today, medicinal plant conservation is one of the most important missions of these botanical gardens. In this bleak interlude of environmental disasters and habitat loss, amidst the destructions engineered by the greedy modern world, there are suggestions of greeneries of hope and survival. This sylvan worship of nature in rural Kerala conserves an ideal tree which does not occur naturally anywhere in the Western Ghats. Sacred groves, the patch of wilderness protected in the name of worship, are also a repository of medicinal plants. A single tree does not make a grove. The proverbial saying itself is an assertion on these archetypes of biodiversity conservation areas. This plant, named Kunzleria keralensis, was first discovered and identified from a sacred grove in the Alappuzha district, a district otherwise devoid of any forests. Some of the rare and endangered plants such as Perum and Maramanjal are surviving in the sizable groves of North Kerala. 3 species of Nervalia, a valuable medicinal orchid, are found growing in the sacred groves of Kerala. Chemical bases of more than 40% of all the allopathic drugs globally marketed today are founded on the complex biochemical ingredients of the tropical plants. folk knowledge of ethnic groups was used in formulating this remarkable preparation, vincristine. The allopathic remedy for leukemia was originally extracted from the periwinkle plant used by the forest dwellers in Jamaica. This is an era of international treaties that permit monopolistic rights over plant and animal life. Like neem, turmeric, philanthus, our rights on the medicines, a part of our passion and faith, are fast eroding. The accumulated wealth of generations of exceptional experiences preserved by the ethnic groups, even as they were losing the battle against modernity in the quicksands of acculturation, are gradually lost in the oblivion. The actual owners of this knowledge are pushed to the periphery of civilization by the development juggernaut. Sustainability of the biological diversity can be ensured only if the traditional knowledge is also sustained and perpetuated along with medicinal plant conservation. The incentive of knowledge should be shared fairly with actual owners of the knowledge. The need of the hour is a biodiversity policy which would make this partaking a reality.